Hi, folks. Welcome to my Fluent podcast. I listen to the I Will Teach You a Language podcast on a regular basis. Just type in I Will Teach You a Language on the Google search bar and you will get directly to the website. I really appreciate what polyglot Olly Richards is going for, and in his podcast, he answers different questions from his listeners. To be honest, I kind of envy him a bit for that. He has a really huge knowledge and passes on all that knowledge to the language community. Thank you for that, by the way. I could really learn a lot from him. Maybe you're asking yourself, what has this all to do with my Fluent podcast? And to be honest, I'm not quite sure yet. But I tell you this, I was listening to his last episode called How Can I Measure My Progress? And that question came from an English learner from Korea. And I first wanted to just leave him a comment on his website because in his introduction, Olly mentioned that a number of his listeners have asked Olly about transcripts, whether or not he has transcripts. And to wrap it up for you, Olly thinks it would take him a very long time to transcribe the whole episode, but at any rate, he has it on his agenda because he is quite aware of the importance. Reading along at the same time as listening is a huge support while learning a language. And instead of giving him my tips by just leaving him a comment on his website, I came up with this crazy idea to make an episode about his last episode, which is number 110. And at this point, if you are on the Google page, I recommend you to type in the abbreviation IWTUA, which stands for I Will Teach You a Language, and then a space, and then the number 110. The website with the episode should then appear. And it's kind of fun because an I Will Teach You a Language listener left a comment a couple of hours ago, and I initially had very similar thoughts, and as mentioned right before, I only wanted to leave him a text message. Sometimes I have strange ideas, I know. Well, her name's SJ, I mean the commenter's name, and she wrote the following thing. I will read it out loud now. The good side effect here is it'll give me pronunciation training. By just leaving a boring comment on Olly's website, I would not have that possibility. Well, here it comes, the text. It requires a huge amount of work and time. She means the whole transcribing thing. Maybe you can just ask listeners to transcribe for you. If there are 10 volunteers and each of them transcribes 2 to 5 minutes, that would be more than enough. And maybe one of them could do some editing work too. While I'd rather say that would not be enough, not be sufficient, unless they are all very advanced learners. She then continues, there's so many English learners out there, just like myself. They could all either contribute to the transcripts providing or benefit from them, or maybe both. Yeah, that idea is just great. I mean, we see this in Luke's English podcast. The English learners among you will probably know him. It's the spot where you can learn British English. And Luke uses a transcript collaboration, meaning he uses Google Documents where lots of his listeners are writing on different transcripts. I think that way Luke has already transcribed hundreds of episodes with the help of his listeners. And the whole process of transcribing will definitely improve the language as well. It's a win-win situation. And in my view, it is more worthwhile than a review on iTunes. Well, now let's head to the questions. In fact, to the 3 questions from Olly's listener. And what would I say to him? Question number 1: how do I know if I am still improving in my English? Well, you should set yourself a goal. Set yourself a goal that is crucial, that will allow you to check if you're still improving. And there is a great number of goals. For example, sign up for an official exam. That could be the first certificate from Cambridge. Or you could set up your own podcast. Or you could write a diary. Question number 2: how can I check my progress? Well, I could compare my very first episode from my Fluent podcast with the latest one, but I should probably wait for 10 more weeks to see a difference. That would allow me to check my progress, definitely. Question number 3: how do you know if you have mastered a language? Well, it's a very personal question, that one, and in my case, I'd say I will never master a language. For the more professional answers, feel free to listen to the I Will Teach You a Language podcast on his page. Well, this was kind of a very spontaneous episode. If you were able to listen till the end, you have my respect. You know, that's the good thing. If you have your own podcast, you can babble about everything you want. Nevertheless, I want to mention here that I'm whether an affiliate of Olly Richards, nor have I asked for permission. He doesn't know me at all. In any case, he mentioned in his episode, well, he asked his listeners to tell a friend about his podcast, and that was exactly what I did with this episode of my Fluent podcast. Let's hope he will not sue me. Either way, I had my fun. I'm still in Italy and have no computer, so sorry for all the ambient noise in the background. I'm your host, Daniel Goodson. Have a good one.